Heading into week 2 of the season, the three-time defending champions, Birmingham Stallions, were looking for an answer as for the first time since spring football returned, they would have a losing record with an 0-1 record after DC sacked quarterback Alex Magoo 8 times last weekend. Heading into the Stallions week 2 game against Michigan, the Panthers were confident after a great defensive performance against Memphis in their week 1 matchup. Many looked for starting quarterback Bryce Perkins to put up highlights once again after impressive week 1. After being shaken up by a big hit at the end of the first half last week, Danny Etling was healthy and ready to go as well. Birmingham went 3-0 against Michigan last year, including beating them in the playoffs, but this week's matchup being the Panthers' home opener in Detroit, Michigan would enter the game as 1-point favorites, even though Birmingham opened as a 1.5-point favorites. Michigan entered the game with one of the best rushing defenses and forced 2 interceptions and 3 sacks against Memphis. Alex Magoo looked to bounce back after struggling in week 1. Heading into the game, Stallions head coach Skip Holtz told the media, "It hasn't even really been a week since we last played. We are all disappointed in our performance in the opening game. Defensively, I thought we played well, but not great. We tried to keep the ball in front of us and learned more about our team and what our guys can do. On offense, this was probably our worst performance since we have been here in the past 3 seasons. We put up statistics from the past 3 seasons to show the players what we have accomplished, and the game on Sunday was the worst. I did think Alex did some good things, but we sometimes tried to make too much happen, which led to negative results. We have to calm down and play. The response from this team was exactly what I wanted. It was one of frustration, of wanting to get things corrected, and a sense of urgency at practice has been great all week. We have, far and away, had our best week of practice. What happened last week was a wake-up call for us. We can't just roll out the ball and beat anybody. Even last year, we won multiple one-score games. Even with as poorly as we played offensively last week, we had a chance to win with under a minute to play. We couldn't get it done. I don't mind losing a game as long as we can learn and grow from it." The Stallions look to get the running game going in week 2's matchup. Tragedy would hit the Stallions on their first play of the game when Magoo would go down with an injury, leading to Matt Corral getting an opportunity. The next play, the Stallions would explode for a major rushing play to set up a field goal, give the Stallions a 3-0 lead. Michigan defensive back DJ Miller Jr. would play extremely well throughout the first half, and even though the 5'10 DB was covering a 6'5 tight end, he would even pick Corral off. Yet the Panthers' offense would also struggle, and then right before half, the Stallions would make a huge punt return, setting up a goal opportunity for Birmingham. The Stallions also almost blocked the punt. While the Stallions would get down to the 9-yard line, Michigan would stop them on 3rd and short, leading to a second field goal by Harrison Mevis to give Birmingham a 6-0 lead at half. Michigan would get the ball back with 25 seconds left and 2 timeouts, but wouldn't get anything going. At half, Perkins had 39 passing yards, while Corral had 68 passing yards and an interception. Person Jr. led the half in rushing yards with 40 rushing yards on 8 carries on the ground. Birmingham was out-rushing Michigan 54-22 on the ground and 122 yards to 63 yards overall. Birmingham also got to the quarterback twice and had 2 tackles for loss, while Michigan just had 3 tackles for loss. It was a hard-fought defensive battle in the first half. The offense would continue to struggle for Michigan as on the 3rd and 4 on their opening drive of the second half, Perkins would throw a pick on a tip pass to A.J. Thomas, who would lateral the ball to Perion Winfrey, setting up their offense just outside the 20. On a completion to Sternberger, he would get a pancake block by the wide receiver, helping him get down to the 2-yard line. Birmingham would finally find the end zone with a run out of the wing tee to Persons to give Birmingham a 12-0 lead. Finally, Michigan would get their offense going with some key rushing plays led by McCrary, but Birmingham would stop them on 4th and goal from the 1-yard line, continuing their shutout. They could not get into the end zone even though they had 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. The Stallions would drive down the field as Corral would go 7 for 7 in the 3rd quarter. On the first play of the 4th quarter, Corral would connect with Deion Kane on a strike to give the Stallions a dominant 18-0 lead, with the game feeling over with how Birmingham's defense was playing. Michigan would respond with a great drive where Perkins would break out of a sack and found Sims in the end zone. With a roughing the passer call, the Panthers would go for 3, and Perkins found the end zone to make it 18-9. Corral would struggle on the next drive and threw his 2nd interception to Miller, the first player to have 2 picks in a game in the UFL history. And the Panthers were alive once again. The Panthers had multiple shots to get the ball back, but a questionable punt on 4th and 3 and a muff punt after the defense got a key stop would sink the Panthers' ship. The Stallions would get their first win of the season 21-12. They extended their winning streak over Michigan to 6 straight. Brow finished the game throwing for 198 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions, while their defense held the Panthers to 252 total yards, finishing with 3 sacks and 5 tackles for loss. Detroit would have their best attendance since the UFL merger, bringing in 10,048 fans, and it was a fun game that came down to the wire. I can't wait to watch what happens the rest of the weekend.